Today's episode of Dungeon Crawlers Radio is brought to you by Gamers Inn, your one-stop location for all your gaming needs. Located in Lehigh City, Utah, their fun and friendly staff will be more than happy to answer any of your gaming needs. Just remember, Gamers Inn, it's where adventures begin.
It's time to power up.
Autobots, roll out! Broadcasting live from the DCR studio.
Oh yeah!
The Geek Revolution starts here.
Excellent!
Get ready for the #1 hit geek radio show out there.
Well, it is impressive, isn't it?
Because it's time for Dungeon Crawlers Radio.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Dungeon Crawlers, where Scott's eagerly. There it is. So we're going to be talking about Geek Fandoms, everything but Star Wars. Well, because if you've listened to this show, you know we like Star Wars. It's just
well, McKay loves Star Wars.
I love Star Wars.
Prequels. Yeah, McKay loves the prequels.
Okay, the bubble is formed. There is no more Star Wars talk. Otherwise, we won't get off of it.
Wait. So this is a world without Star Wars?
I don't want to live in that world.
No more Star Wars talk. For right now.
I thought it was.
Guess what the biggest...
So,
what's our hot topic then?
All right, so...
Fandoms.
Geek fandoms. So what are your favorite geek fandoms?
Are we going to have to go around point by point?
So, well, because there's so many of us, there's 6 of us right now.
My fandoms.
We're going to say 2.
And a third of us are girls.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Sure.
Congratulations, 1/3.
Yes. Hey, that's awesome.
In a geek room.
Yeah,
it is.
We can talk about Twilight and stuff.
I do not like Twilight at all.
Sorry.
Talking
Okay.
Twilight.
Wait a minute. One more. No Twilight. There is no Twilightards discussion within this bubble.
You don't like it?
No, that's what we
dropping
came up with.
like
That's what we came up with.
I don't think...
I hate Twilight. So
Fans of Twilight or Twilightards?
I will
I like
admit,
this
I
1/3
went through a
over.
Twilight phase, but you also have to remember when those books came out, I was still in high
Okay,
school.
so my daughter is almost 15. She wanted to read them. We let her read them.
Their fan fiction gone wrong.
She got through the second one. She's like, I hate this book. It's the worst book I have ever read in my life. She's like, I can't believe this author wrote this. She's like, Bella is the biggest whiny brat in the universe.
To be fair, New Moon was the worst of the entire series.
No, I think what's the last one?
Breaking Dawn.
The Breaking Dawn.
That
I'm
has
sorry.
the worst
Breaking
ending
Bad.
of any book in the universe.
May I point out Jacob fell in
Pedophile.
love with Bella's ovaries?
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Printed on them. Jeez, like,
Okay, there are so many flaws. So many flaws.
Scott's face is
You're
beautiful.
predestined to be a vampire. What the?
I don't remember.
You become a
actually.
vampire
Yeah,
by
that
getting
story.
bit, and
Can we
you're right.
move on?
And
Yeah, I
Jacob
feel like the only way to get out of this
imprints
Pedophile.
on her ovaries.
Star Wars.
What the heck? I'm in love with. I'm in love.
No, Twilight did.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay. Yes. I'm just saying.
I want a lightsaber in
Horrible.
this conversation right now.
So moving on. So okay. We're just gonna do one fandom because I don't know if we can do 2.
Okay.
If we have enough time, we'll circle around. So we'll start with Baron, with what his favorite fandom is, other than Star Wars.
Well, we were talking about this just a little bit ago before the mics turned on, really. The Tick.
Spoon. Yes.
Girls,
I don't know what
anything?
that means.
Yeah, sure.
That's okay.
You don't know that?
You don't know what to take?
Well, in all fairness,
You
it
don't
was.
want to know how
if
old
you
I was
didn't
when the
know,
original came out.
That's
if you
okay.
didn't know the
Obviously,
90s
you
cartoon.
don't love justice.
Again, I feel like I'm missing something
That's
here.
one of his saying,
Okay.
and
You are most
his
definitely
war
missing
cry.
something.
His war cry is spoon.
Yes.
So anytime he jumps into
Something
battle,
unique.
spoon.
But that would drive fear into the hearts of those around him.
Then it should have been spork. At least it has pointy edges.
Yeah, but you don't want your heart cut out with a dull spoon.
Yeah, that's true.
I just remember when he fought a clone of himself that was cloned from mucus and snot. And so
Yeah,
it was
'cause
this
he had a
giant,
cold.
green, slimy tick. And the only way he could defeat it was to bring it back into his now.
Yeah.
I kind of see why girls have
He had to snort up
I've
the
seen
fat
some of the
clone.
Tick.
Okay.
I'm the right age for that.
Yeah.
I was in love with the miniature Santas, the mini Santas.
Oh, those things
I thought that was great. There was all these evil Santas, and they were clones because this guy went into this electrical place and got cloned in this, And well, the only way you could get rid of them was by creating another static electricity charge, which the Tick would do by noogies.
Yep.
Hurry, Arthur! Noogie the Santas! Because he couldn't bring himself to punch Santa.
That's okay.
You can't
You know what?
punch
If you
Santa,
go back and
get
watch
coal
those
for
cartoons
Christmas.
now, I'm sure it will go that way too.
And
I think
you'll
it's
laugh.
already there.
You'll laugh.
It's like the Napoleon Dynamite of cartoons, really.
It really.
Oh, I don't like
so
Napoleon
Napoleon
Dynamite,
Dynamite is a
Monty Python of cartoons.
very
Superheroes?
bad movie. Napoleon Dynamite, I would give an F to.
Really?
What I mean is,
No.
it's the random.
It
kind
was
of
not
comedy.
funny. The only funny
It was not
scene.
funny.
Monty
The
Python.
ninth time
We'll say
you
the
watched
Monty
it,
No.
it was
Python.
hilarious.
The
Monty
only-
Python of
Depends on how
superheroes.
much
How's
weed
that?
you had before.
The
I
only
was
funny
12, so
thing
no.
that I ever, even now, I've watched it a couple times because I had my kids watch it, is the scene
You had your
in
kids
the
watch
bus.
The cow.
The
where
cow?
the cow.
Love the cow.
And
Love
the cow gets shot, and all the kids go, ah! That is the only time in the entire movie I laugh. Otherwise, it is just.
Wait,
bleh.
what about when the uncle
No.
gets his...
I don't
his
even
ass
know if I've
beat
seen it
up?
all the
No.
way through.
See, and I thought that was kind of
Go
funny.
watch it.
when he got-
Throw a
when he
pigskin
got
corn
beat
pop.
Yeah, it's just not
Like,
funny.
Uncle Rico's the greatest.
I just remember Backstreet
I've met
Boys.
Uncle Rico though.
That's
I like
the
the
one thing I
cartoon show
remember
that
about
came out.
Napoleon
That was
Dynamite.
awesome.
Yeah.
was The Backstreet Boys.
He was
thing.
like King of the Hill.
And that is it. So that's why I'm
And
not
Tater
sure.
Tots. Yeah.
The
Tater
cartoon
Tots.
series of Napoleon
I
was
don't know.
pretty
There
funny.
was a
I'm sorry,
cartoon.
there's a cartoon
Yeah,
series?
Fox did a cartoon series, very King of the Hillish. I think it was by the same
By
animators.
And let me guess, it didn't last very long.
No, of course not. It's
No
Fox.
shows, dude.
Thank you,
All right.
Fox.
So the Tick.
At least they axed a bad one.
So the Tick is your fandom. All right.
The
So
Tick, yes.
McKay.
I'm just gonna go with the basic one that everyone loves too, which is Harry Potter. Whether you were an adult or a kid, I'm pretty sure everyone loved him. Now,
No.
Dan likes to be against the books for whatever reason, but likes the movies. But the books.
I enjoy the movies, but I'm not a Potter fan. No.
I know, it's still sad.
No.
And maybe it's an adult and kid thing. I feel like a lot of adults still like them, but
I
But
can't
Dan,
stand her
there's
writing.
a redhead that's still a redhead.
There's a whole
you
family.
are
But
nicknamed the Mormon Weasleys. So
That's, I tell him he needs to cosplay the Weasleys.
yeah, I just can't. I don't
totally
like
see
her
it.
writing
Weasley
style.
was cool.
That's what we've been saying to him for like a while now. We were
Yeah,
arguing with him at Gaming Con.
I don't like her writing style. I just could never get into the books.
Yeah, well,
Movies are okay.
7 billion people disagree with you.
That's fine.
Just
And that's
it's
okay that they
one
love
of
it.
them.
That's
because he hates
fantastic.
everything.
You know, but Fantastic Beasts, I loved. I love Fantastic Beasts.
I have not seen
See, and that's
Fantastic Beasts.
surprising to me because there's a lot of hate going around for Fantastic
Really?
Beasts.
I love the
fun.
I love
Said
the
no,
fact
I know.
it was set in the 1940s. I like the twists. The one thing that really bugs me still is they can't cast magic without a wand, which I think is just stupid, but that's okay.
Some people.
My
do.
issue is they
wizards.
could have done so much more with the no match people or whatever those creepers were.
The what the
I don't know, I
big
haven't
black
seen it.
orb things?
It's fair.
Yeah.
I just think they could have
That-
done
what
a
Clarence
lot more.
was? The-
yeah. I just
Yeah.
think they could have done a lot more with that. That was my only issue.
I remember what a niffler
Yeah.
is. That's
Yes.
the best I got.
Because he's adorable. I have one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like the
maybe
monster.
that's why all
Credence,
my
not
jewelry's
Clarence.
gone
Credence, Credence, yeah. No, I really enjoyed that, but I think I like that so much more because they didn't focus all on Hogwarts and Harry and all the
Wow.
crap with that.
See, I hated that at first, but I actually came to enjoy it because it was more of a coming of age story, and I kind of because I've never read the books until now. Like I am, what book am I? I think I'm on book 5 right now, and
You're kidding me, right?
no, I've never read them, and now I am, and I'm actually re-experiencing this
I've
for
never
the
read
first
beyond
time.
the second book.
And it's
sorry.
actually quite fun because I can see how people literally grew up with this. And as he gets older and starts to get all angsty and complaining against adults, I can see how people can relate. And it's actually kind of a fun
No,
experience.
I
You know what's
understand
terrible?
that.
Harry Potter got me through high school.
Okay, see,
There's nothing wrong with that.
I was out of high school when Harry Potter came out.
is
and
that.
I had
My
already
daughter
been, I had already been
Harry
reading
Potter.
I remember
lot
the
higher
first book
level
being
books.
read to
level
me in
books,
sixth
so
grade.
it was like going backwards, and so that's
Some
why
might
it
have
was
been in high school when they
that's why I
came out.
can't
I don't
really
know.
get into
I didn't
her
know
writing
about
style.
them until I had
Now I know
them.
the older
When
books.
it came out.
I know the older books
Remember, John?
are more adult,
It was Harry Potter.
but I can't
you're
get through
right.
those first books. So the movies are okay. I enjoy them.
Just okay.
They are just okay. there are better stories out there.
Look, when they announced like the Harry Potter world and everything, like I went opening weekend.
And that's cool. I
was so
love the
excited.
fact that you love that. I know Jessica is a huge
was
Harry Potter fan. So
I'm a Ravenclaw.
I am a Ravenclaw. I do have a house.
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
I know. Most people it doesn't.
Okay, what is everybody?
Hey.
Let's go around the table.
Okay.
I want to know what
I
everybody else.
resent
Is.
that.
I am Ravenclaw. She's Ravenclaw.
Shocker.
Mr. Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
Yeah, that's a shocker.
If
too.
you want to get
Slytherin.
technical,
That-
I'm
that
a
doesn't
Ravenclaw.
surprise
I'm
me.
half Ravenclaw, half Hufflepuff.
Whoa.
Pick a side.
I've never worn that hat. I'm not sure.
Is
Well,
Pottermore?
What? Go to
Go to Pottermore.
Go
It'll
to
tell you.
Comic-Con.
Go
Go
answer questions.
anywhere.
I don't know. The one that I did said I was I think it was a Ravenclaw and
Slytherin.
that
Which
mixed
does
together.
not surprise me.
I could.
She knows because I sent it to her. It's
I
like,
could
here you
see
go.
Because I made her do it.
Mine was just straight
Now,
Ravenclaw.
for those people out there who are not Potter, like at least not big into the Potter fandom, what is Potterdom? Is that what you said?
Do you want us to explain the four
Pottermore.
houses?
Pottermore, yes.
The four houses? Is that what you're
Oh
saying?
no, I understand the four houses because I've seen the movies, but I only got through like one or two of the books. But what is Pottermore?
It's
I've
the
never-
website.
It's just
The
it's a
website.
website set up
Oh.
by J.K. Rowling and the Harry Potter fans. It'll put you in your house. It'll give you your wand. It'll show you Patronus, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's for like the serious fan people.
Oh,
It asks
cool.
you a bunch of
Serious
questions.
fan or
and then
addicted?
Depending on what you
answered,
it
it'll
says
say
you
your
would
house.
fit in that house.
Gotcha.
Whatever.
And just for kicks and giggles, most of us have done that.
Yeah.
Huh.
And some of us didn't like what it told us our Patronus was.
Mine's a mouse.
Mine's a freaking hummingbird.
Really?
It's like the tiniest thing possible. I'm like, that's weird for
Mine's
me.
a
but
jaguar.
That somehow
I didn't do that one.
Yours, Scott.
I don't remember. I was so angry that I just closed it and I said, no, I'm not accepting that. I'm sticking with my spirit animal, and that's what my Patronus is.
And what's
And
your
what's
spirit
your-
animal?
I'm not,
Penguin?
my wife doesn't even know that. Good luck
Your
getting that.
wife's your-
No,
your
no. I'm saying you can't
That
tell
explains
anyone your
so much.
spirit animal, or you risk offending your spirit animal.
My spirit animal
think
is
that's how
Salem
that
the
works,
cat.
though.
Well, there you go. That's your spirit animal.
I know what mine is.
An animatronic kitty?
Leave sarcasm to the professionals.
I don't
dude.
have a problem
I love
mentioning it.
I didn't
It's
think
a
it was
hawk.
a big deal. I don't know. I was like, I feel like people tell you what your
Oh.
spiritual animal is. So.
I've never told anyone.
Yeah.
It's very personal
Really?
to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, mine's a hawk. No big
Let's
deal.
go. What's your fandom that's not Ghostbusters?
Yes,
we
moving on
we
to
are also
Scott.
putting an umbrella over Ghostbusters
We
because
do know Scott
we
loves
we
Ghostbusters.
have done this conversation
Because
before.
we have too much
and
I
I've
fun.
remember
always
this
said
last weekend. Scott
that
said he's kind of done with
I've
Ghostbusters.
always said that
seen
my,
the
no, no,
movie?
no,
I was
no, no,
there
hold
for
on,
that
hold on.
too.
My fandom
I was
is
there for that.
my fandom. Number one fandom
Wait.
is still real Ghostbusters and will always be
I'm pretty sure
the
those
real
girls are part of the real
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. if
No,
you
no,
watch
real
it.
Ghostbusters, the cartoon.
Oh,
That is where
It's
the
on
fandom
Netflix
is.
right now,
That's
and I've
right.
watched it a little. It's
And
really funny still.
and half the episodes are amazing, and half the episodes where they brought in different writers who had never even seen the movie or seen any of the other cartoon series. They did horrible writing jobs and are very contradictory and didn't follow any kind of writing schemes. But anyway, that's beside the point. So half the episodes are brilliant and beautiful and still to this point. But that's not my point. That is not the fandom that I'm calling out today because everybody already knows this. Or are we just going to go with this? Do you just want to stick with this?
No, let's hear it. I want to hear what the
You
next
said
one
you were
is.
done with Ghostbusters. That's like me.
Oh,
saying
he
I'm
said
done
it at
with
Gaming
Ghostbusters.
Con. He said he was done with
I
Ghostbusters.
don't know what you guys are
Scott,
talking
how
about.
dare you speak blasphemies?
I am
Moving
just
on from
branching
that.
out.
Okay, yes, he is. So what
Branching
is
out to
what is not the non-Ghostbuster fandom?
Okay, I'm going to throw out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now.
Sweet.
Because
Also great.
they have had so many incarnations. Again and again, they just keep rebooting the series,
like
the cartoon
Batman.
shows.
I don't like the new ones
and
though.
I'm actually, and each one is different. But I'm watching the Nickelodeon version right now, and I kind of
The Nickelodeon?
like the What the Shell version. Of the
Oh,
fact
I
that they
haven't
use
seen
shell
What the
way
Shell
too many
version.
It
times.
came out in like 2012.
It's like 2012 to now. It's still
Yeah.
coming out now.
Okay,
And it's
I haven't
actually
seen
it's
that
really
one.
fun. They're actually teenagers. They're like between 12 and 15. I think Mikey acts like he's 12, but they actually act
He
like
always acts
kids,
like he's
Always
12.
acts-
as
yeah.
opposed to like
Acting like
the
19
prior
year olds.
iteration, which was the What the Shell version, which was on Fox, I guess, a couple years ago. And that version, they were like 18 to 20-year-olds. At least they acted like it. So each one is fun, and I enjoy the fact that it just keeps going on, and we just don't talk about Turtles: The Next Generation
Which
or
one's
New
that?
Generation.
Is that the new movies?
That's the one with the girl,
it's-
isn't it?
It's the one where they did a live-action TV series.
Oh, on
And they were
I
in
don't-
the-
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
know
they
anything
were in
about that.
costume.
They even had a crossover with Power Rangers at one point.
They
And it
introduced
was
the
just-
female Ninja Turtle.
It was really weird. It was really bad animation.
And
It was not Jim Henson.
Splinter looked really weird.
Yeah.
Splinter always kinda
It was like
looks
they took
weird.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
No,
Turtles 3, the
Splinter
movie,
looked
and
really
made a TV
weird.
series.
It's like
of
they
it.
crossed a dog and a rat, and it had a bar fight with a cat.
Yeah. So let's just stick with the original two movies and all the cartoons.
All right.
So,
Can I make?
I also enjoyed the
Can I
newest
just
one.
make a? I want to point out something kind of neat. I just noticed.
What's that?
Bill Murray did the voice of Garfield. Did he not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yet the
Has
guy
nothing
who
to do
did
with
the
Ninja
voice
Turtles.
of Garfield does the voice for Bill Murray in the real Ghostbusters.
Yep.
I thought it was kind of neat.
That is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's fun. I like it.
That's all.
Are we going back to
Back to
Ghostbusters?
Teenage
I can
Mutant
go
Ninja
back to
Turtles. I know, I was like,
Ghostbusters.
I do
Go
love
back to
Teenage
We're like
Mutant
flip
Turtles.
flop between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Ghostbusters.
I wanted to point it out earlier, but you
You know,
had to move
IDW
on
did a
to
crossover with Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters.
Wait, what?
Beautifully done. IDW, it's a comic book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did.
But yeah, they did a crossover where the turtles actually crossed dimensions to the Ghostbusters dimension. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, they also did like Doctor Who and Star Trek. So,
They did? Oh, in comics, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
I didn't
guys
follow
already
that
did
one.
comics.
yeah,
I didn't follow
Talking
that
about Teenage Mutant
But
Ninja
they-
Turtles.
it was.
They
It,
also
hey,
crossed
Jean-Luc
over the movie
Picard
Ghostbusters
Star
with
Trek.
the cartoon
Picard
Ghostbusters.
and
which
Next
was awesome.
Generation.
Turtles?
It was Picard and
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Who.
Oh, Doctor
The
Who.
11th
Oh.
Doctor.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
Matt
I can
Smith's
see- I
Doctor.
can see that crossover a little more than
It would
than
be weird.
Turtles.
Well, look
Yeah.
at Q. He's practically a Time Lord, right?
Well,
You have a point
isn't he
there.
though?
Sort of.
He sort
Huh?
of is.
Well,
Maybe.
he's a god. Wouldn't that make him a time lord? I
Is
guess?
Q a god?
No, I think
It
he's more of a
depends on
time
which fandom
demon.
board you're on.
I think he's more of a demon.
More of an omnipotent kind of being, but not a god.
No, I think he's a time.
No.
He's like he's a demon that can manipulate
Space and time.
space and time, because he's so chaotic. He's not good. He's not bad.
He's like Loki.
I think
Not
he.
Loki from the Marvel universe. Loki from like ancient mythology.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Norse
More of a
mythology.
mischief maker, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but
Yeah.
does he ever claim to be a god in the series?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I'm getting that from.
Yeah.
then.
He's
'Cause I
cocky.
did
He's
used
very
to watch
cocky.
Next
Yeah.
Generation.
So one thing I want to throw out back to Teenage Mutant
He's like
Ninja Turtles
he's like Mr. Mixelplix.
Oh, I love that guy.
is my favorite thing is that I felt like if you liked it, I guess if you didn't, then whatever. But each one of the turtles had a different personality or characteristic
Different
that
flavor,
you could
yeah.
latch on to.
Uh-huh.
So each one I felt like had their own turtle, which I always felt like was cool. Or you're just like, Orange is my favorite. I'm gonna like Mikey, and he's got the nunchucks, so that's cool. Which is what I did at first, and that's why I have him tattooed on me. But he's also really funny, so that's why I always loved him.
Did you put Cowabunga with it as well?
No, because it was only $13, so it was just his head. It's like on my ankle.
So you're Mikey.
Oh.
Yeah, I love him.
Okay, so who's your favorite turtle?
Oh, Leo.
Favorite
That
turtle?
doesn't surprise me. Raphael.
I'm with
Yeah.
her on Raphael.
Huh.
The two girls went right.
Actually, I am
Wow.
surprised
It's kind of
about
shocking me.
Raphael.
Really?
I
Huh.
would have seen more of a
Have you
Donnie.
not seen the sarcasm?
Just saying.
Interesting.
So yours, Daniel?
Who's Donatello?
That's funny. I was like, no, it shows him Donatello, so I'll have to damn.
No,
Fair.
it really was.
Smart one.
As a kid, it was always Donatello. Because,
Yeah, that
However-
mustache.
Well, he kind of rose above.
however,
all the
Donatello in the new one,
He made him too nerdy. I felt like
Yeah.
he was the smart one, but I'm like, okay,
Oh,
he
like
went
with the
out with
split
like
tooth?
glasses.
Like-
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, because
I
they're all
haven't seen the
kids.
second
They're
movie yet.
I
literally.
haven't
That
seen
was
any
best,
of the
'cause
new
the first
movies.
one
I
was
started
pretty
to
good,
watch part of
and I
it and
loved
couldn't
it.
handle
The
it.
first one's horrible. Second one's
The
better.
second one was really
I
good.
Yeah.
couldn't make it through
Alright.
like 20 minutes of the first one, so I kind
that
of killed
doesn't
it.
The second one is amazing. Second movie
Alright.
is really good.
Is it on Amazon Prime now?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
All right, so what's your fandom? So Mackenzie, you're up.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ooh.
TV series,
Good.
series, and comics.
Good,
Not
good.
that crap.
Thank goodness people are getting
Not
pissed
that
over all the
steaming pile of crap that M. Night Shyamalan that is making a sequel.
Ong,
Wait, it
Hold
really
on,
is
hold on,
getting
hold on.
a
I
sequel?
do want to ask. Now, does that also include the sequel,
Legend of Korra?
Korra?
Oh, I love it.
Or
What
is it?
seasons are we talking about?
Okay, so we're talking more like Airbender, Avatar, the
I
classic.
do love
3
Korra.
books.
I just think they let it go too long, and because of that, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the characters of Asami and Korra.
Well, they're following the same story format, 3 books. It's an interesting twist. It is.
It is.
But there are a lot of plot holes.
Well, and it's like because if I remember correctly, when they announced it at Comic-Con that hey, there's gonna be a sequel. Oh my gosh, I fangirled really badly because
Yeah.
I love Avatar. That world is so rich and just beautiful and just not gonna lie, Zuko. Yeah, he was my crush and he was almost my dog's name. But
Then they fast forward way too fast.
Yeah, way too
yeah.
far.
And that's the thing is that they could have done so much more with Korra's journey after the 3rd book because when you think about it, the 3rd book was so beautiful because she created that villain.
Mm-hmm.
She created her own crucible in a way because of she opened the spirit world, she did everything. And they could have done so much more with that, but they didn't. They let it go. But then again, they had that really good episode in the 4th season when he comes back. But no, I'm talking the original Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I'm not going to lie, when I saw it being advertised on Nickelodeon, I'm like, what crap is this? Seriously, I'm like, what crap is this? And then I accidentally came across a marathon. I want to say it was about halfway through the first book. So
I'm sorry, it's just... That's how it always starts. It's
Right,
one episode,
it's totally
and
true.
everything turns into a marathon with this
it's
show.
totally true. But I remembered, I'm like, this is not what I was expecting. And
All I can
it was
say,
all downhill
anytime
from
the
there.
villain is voiced by Mark Hamill, gold.
Right? Holy crap! Because seriously,
Firelord Ozai, Mark Hamill.
Ozai's a
You
scary
didn't
villain.
see him for a while. Like,
No, you don't see him a lot, but you just get this menacing feeling, and then just seeing his daughter, and how horribly wrong and
my
twisted
gosh.
she is.
But she is such a beautiful character. That's the
She
thing.
is.
There's not one character in the original, like, I'm trying to...
Well, they
I'm
all
str-
have
I'm
a
racking my brain
solid
for
story
one
arc. Every
bad
character has a very
They
solid
do.
story
I had
arc
some
from beginning
issues
to
with
end.
Aang, just because I don't think they showed his growth as an avatar as much as they could have been. I felt like he kind of plateaued a little bit, especially in book 2.
Well, he did, because he didn't. But that was the beauty of his character. He ran from being the Avatar, so that's why his character couldn't grow as fast as it could, because he was afraid. And so you do see that. You see that where he gets and then he plateaus, and then he kind of dips, and then he grows a little bit and plateaus.
And that was my issue with Korra, is they went too far in the opposite direction.
Yeah, well, but different personality. They didn't want to do the same story thing, but
no, Zuko has the best written, best voice acting, best just characterization of anything I've seen, and I don't say that lightly because I'm a huge fan.
So
I mean,
what?
He has a tough life.
What did you?
He does, but he overcomes everything,
Yeah.
and he does it in a way that's believable, and he does it in a way that you can relate to.
So how about the final
Uncle
twist?
Iroh. I love
What,
Uncle Iroh.
what about the
love Uncle
final
Iroh.
twist, though?
Which one?
That the previous Avatar was the grandfather
That was so amazing.
to Zuko. So
What I did
Aang
not
is like
like
connected.
is what the comics did with that.
That's okay. It's if they haven't known this by now, who cares?
Right.
Spoiler from 2008.
Baron, have you watched it?
Not all of it.
Baron, watch it. Watch it. See?
I started
Spoiler.
watching it.
No,
It was when my daughter was watching TV at that point where you kind of sit around and watch TV with them, even though sometimes it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
And then this came on, and at first I was like you, oh no, what's this gonna be? This kid's got an arrow on his head. That's retarded. and then suddenly, the next thing I knew, I was kind of a fan of having arrows on my head.
And
But I
flying
never-
buffaloes.
Never got all the way. Yeah, exactly. I wanted one of those too. I never got all the way through it though, because she finished watching it at grandma's or something, and she didn't want to watch the other episodes again. And I never got back to. On my
I have them all.
I have them all too.
I have them all.
Is it no longer on Netflix?
I
No.
don't
It
think
wasn't.
so. It
No.
hasn't been for a while. It was on for but
A
that's
long
still, like,
time
5
when they
years
yanked
ago,
it.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that's when I first started watching it.
That's
When it was
fair.
on Netflix.
Oh no.
You were saying like something really big. I really wanted to find out about Baron so I could chase in him.
I don't even remember now. I know
No,
it was
it's just-
Zuko, but
Yeah,
Zuko just.
and
I mean, when you think
had
about
great
it, at some
character
form,
stories.
we're kind of all Zuko when we want our parents' like love and acceptance, and then we decide, hey, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to be my own person. And seriously,
this is
the
very
last-
interesting.
The last half of the third book.
If
is
you look
my
at this from a
favorite.
psychology standpoint,
Yeah.
I have a little bit too much. We won't go there.
we won't talk about that
We
on
won't
air.
talk about
but
that.
And did you enjoy that they continued the story with the comics? The original writers came back for the comics, or no?
I did and I didn't. I had some issues with Ursa because I don't see Ursa willingly abandoning her children and her memories just to have a new life. The Ursa
Sorry,
they
that's the
presented to me.
mother.
Yeah.
The Ursa they presented to me in like Zuko Alone, and when they would talk about her, that just seemed a little out of character to me.
Yeah.
And I think I was more proud of how Zuko handled it than necessarily anything else, because he's like, maybe I don't need this. I mean, it helped me get to where I am. But one of the other issues that I am having right now is that there's just that kind of that huge disconnect, is that right now we're like, we're only a year or two past the ending in the comics. And there's like that, how many years? 50 years? 60? I can't remember. I'd have to look it up, between Avatar and Korra. But I feel like we lost a lot.
I think there's 30.
Yeah.
Because Aang's oldest son is in there,
Yeah.
and he has a family. He appears to be in his 30s. I could be because he has
No, Tenzin's the youngest.
Oh, Tenzin's the youngest.
Boomy's the oldest.
Oh, okay.
He does look pretty old.
Yeah.
Although we're talking from when Korra was born.
When it started.
No, from the start of it. So okay, maybe there is 50 years. Even in that 50 years, too much has happened.
And I feel like
I
they
mean,
didn't
there's
touch
cars,
on that
there's
enough.
dirigibles,
Yeah.
it's
airplanes.
Airplanes. So it's like, how do you go?
I mean, the steampunk aspect is really cool of it.
It is, and we did have tanks, we had warships, but we didn't really have any flying capabilities or cars.
No, we didn't.
And for that to jump in 50 years
is a huge leap.
without the use of bending.
They kind of explain it in the comics, in the first one, the first comic.
Yeah, but you
series
have
that
to have
came out.
the comics to understand the show. They should have explained that.
They should have a little bit more, and that was my other issue with Korra. Is yes, they had the spirit of Avatar, but they didn't make enough pathways of how they got
Well,
there.
and then they add in all the different bending.
Yeah,
And
that
the
was
blood bending and this and that.
which I kind of liked that it was a special skill set in the original comics, and I also this is going to probably get me a lot of hate from the Zuko fans. I'm kind of glad he never generated lightning.
Yeah. No, I think it was perfect.
No, I think the fact that he redirected it was perfection, because in that way, and here goes psychological again, by him redirecting the lightning instead of generating it, he was able to redirect and refocus from, hey, I have to do this, to, hey, I'm going to do my own thing.
Well, it's kind of
And let's
Yoda-esque,
It is.
where he pulls it in and pushes it back instead of generating it himself.
to learn.
Yes. All right.
Wait, what was that from? That was from a movie, I thought.
We're just going to skip. So, all right. So, we're going to jump to Mandy's fandom that isn't something we
I don't like
haven't
to watch
mentioned.
that, so that's fine. Nightmare Before Christmas.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, yeah, I would hope not. I'm like walking around with it on my
Jack
cell phone. It's like
Skellington,
on all my
voiced
stuff.
by Prince Humperdinck himself.
I still can't get over that
I know.
fact.
The first time I picked it, I was like, "Whoa, that's
Chris Sarandon.
He did a good job.
But even then, that's not the first thing I ever saw him in. I saw him in Fright Night for the very first time before I ever saw Princess Bride. So,
Fright Night.
a vampire movie
Okay.
from the 80s.
And then they remade it like 5 years ago.
Yeah, with Colin Farrell and David Tennant and
There's actually a lot of
and the guy that was Chekhov, wasn't it?
really?
Anton
Wasn't it?
Chekhov?
No, it wasn't Anton. It was someone else.
I don't know. It actually had a lot
Yeah.
of good people on it.
It was a decent show. I like the original better.
It's fair. So most
But The Nightmare Before Christmas
Yes.
soundtrack from one of my favorite artists,
Danny Elfman.
Annoying,
The
Oingo Boingo.
The
yeah.
remade soundtrack's actually pretty fun too, because they bring in like Marilyn Manson and Panic at the Disco to redo the songs in Fall Out Boy.
They do. I think it's pretty cool.
It's a blast.
I've listened to it.
The Panic ones actually do pretty good because they're harder to tell the difference from compared to some of the different ones. Marilyn Manson did a whole huge twist on it.
Yeah, I still like
Very
Danny
good.
Elfman.
Danny Elfman's awesome though.
Yeah.
Like Inside and Out, I love Jack
You know what's
Skellington.
really
is
random?
awesome.
A score of his I love. Real Steel.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know. So with Nightmare Before Christmas, do you consider it a Halloween movie or Christmas movie?
Both.
It's an all year round movie.
People always choose one now.
both.
It could be an all year round.
My kids
Like
start
Gremlins.
watching
I
it
just want
in
people
like
to-
September and don't stop
Exactly.
watching it till February.
You want to get the controversy there.
Yeah.
You don't want to
Halloween,
offend
Halloween,
no one likes
Halloween,
someone sitting on a
My
fence.
kids have seen it so many times they have the songs memorized.
Mine do
I'm pretty
too.
sure most
And then
people
I made
would.
I made my kids watch Gremlins this last year, and they're like, "What the heck is this thing?"
Oh,
My oldest one is seen Gremlins.
They want a
Gremlins.
Mogwai. They want a Mogwai, but yeah.
I have
great
one.
movie.
One of my cats looks like a Mogwai.
Aren't
But
they
my
all
my
purple now?
3-year-old can name all the characters. Yeah, Olive looks like a Mogwai. But yeah, my 3-year-old can name all the characters in Nightmare
Nice.
Before Christmas because her sisters literally watch it non-stop in my house.
Yeah. Have you ever paid attention to the song that the three little kids sing about Oogie Boogie? It's pretty creepy.
Oh no, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
talk about dismembering
Yeah,
people
like
and
chopping
feeding
them
them.
up,
Yeah.
Well, even Oogie's song is like it's in there going
yeah.
pretty bad.
I'm pretty sure, and this is probably going to get me in trouble at work, I'm pretty sure I first saw that movie after a brownie.
After a brownie.
What?
Special kind.
That is one of the ways
Wow.
to watch that movie.
Call
Actually,
those
no.
Colorado brownies now.
Colorado brownie.
Colorado
We should
brownie.
get
Probably shouldn't be admitting that.
I
But
can't. I
anyways.
get drug tested.
Eh,
Well,
I
now you're in
don't.
trouble.
I mean, we're not talking about that.
That was years
know
ago.
nothing.
It's never happened again.
Nothing on the show
Actually,
is
that's
admissible to court.
But so with Nightmare Before Christmas, do you consider like all kind of like Tim Burton-esque movies like that
Oh, I love Tim
with it,
Burton.
so like Coraline and Princess. Or the
So,
Corpse Bride.
We should
Corpse
make you the
Bride.
Corpse Bride.
I'm game.
I know you're.
I'll do Corpse Bride. I love Corpse Bride
Yeah.
too. Coraline is creepy as all high hell. My daughters love watching that too. There's another little kids show that has the same kind of dolls. Lala Loopsy.
Oh,
Do you like Frankenweenie too?
Yeah.
Yes!
And every time I
That's
see
what I'm
that, I
saying.
think
I'm that person.
damn,
I
it's
love just
Exactly.
all those movies.
My
See, here's
3-year-old
my
watches
problem.
that.
Almost everything Tim Burton does looks the same, with the exception of Batman.
He's got a very unique style.
And it's just like I want to see something different. I mean, even Willy Wonka
That's why people
looks
go
the
to see
same.
They're doing another one of
Burton
those.
movies. Wait for
No,
what?
they're not.
Yeah,
right.
I forgot who's
I
Willy
still
Wonka.
think-
I read about
I'm
that.
so
I
sorry.
still think the first one is better.
Yeah, with Gene
To the-
Wilder.
To the point
Oh yeah.
where Johnny Depp is.
No.
I saw it once and I cringed the entire way through. It was
Yeah.
absolutely wretched.
I know
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. Never seen either of them.
Really? My kids
I
watch
can't-
those too.
I
They're
know.
both very different movies.
I know.
My
we're
kids
gonna
watch a
make
lot of
you
Tim Burton.
watch.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't understand how that's the same story.
I
either.
do not like
Well-
the Oompa Loompas in the Tim Burton one.
I don't like.
No,
I
the
like the
Oompa
original
Loompa
one.
wasn't
where
the
you get to
best.
the Oompa Loompa
Yeah, the little
Doompity.
orange
I
guy
did
who's
like
the
though
blue
how
guys.
I
they
got
caught
another
on that
story
the
for
Oompa
you.
Loompas knew what was going on. On Tim Burton, the parents started realizing, why do they know what's going to happen? Shh, and just kind of
Yeah.
move away from that.
Since you guys always love to be like, it wasn't like the comic books. The Tim Burton one followed the
Followed the
actual
book.
story.
It did follow the
book.
books,
Nah.
even down to the
'Cause
songs.
that was with Gene Wilder when they were like, "We're doing this movie." He's like, "That's fine, but you got to make it about me." So that's why it changed to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory instead of Charlie.
But I like that.
See, I
But
read-
it still
I
was
love
focusing
both.
on Charlie.
I just luckily love both.
I
But
just-
if you don't like Tim Burton stuff, of course.
I
I
I
love
read
Tim
the book,
Burton.
and that was the
I like
freakiest
Tim
horror
Burton
movie
stuff.
I've ever
Just
seen as a
not
kid.
like
Yeah.
that.
That's fair.
So you want to see fun? My Jack Sparrow sings songs from, crap, what's the barber
Sweeney
one?
Todd?
Sweeney Todd. So he'll get on the ship and sing Sweeney Todd. Dressed as Jack Sparrow.
Hold on, I have a question.
Musical
But
that
that,
was
was,
like
that was a
Sweeney Todd.
weird.
Okay,
it was
Scott's got a
creepy and
question.
dark.
I have a
It
question
wasn't-
for you
I
guys.
like the creepy dark side of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So did no one else see the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka,
Willy
however they
Wonka and
named
the
it,
Chocolate Factory.
as a horror movie where
No.
the children were picked off one at a time?
They didn't get picked off one at a time.
Yeah,
were
they
picked off
did.
one at a time by a psychopath.
But they took
They
out
went
that.
home.
They
When
built
he
it
went
to a
in that
happy
little
thing.
tunnel and did that round and round thing.
We're going down. We never know where we're gonna stop.
What the like, just
Okay.
starts yelling.
That
He's like,
tunnel was
"What's going on?"
creepy.
I
The
thought it was
boat
cool.
scene is about as creepy as it can get.
The snozzleberries taste like
With the
snozzberries.
insects crawling around. Yeah.
Do you know what a snozzberry is? Oh, that show just freaked me out. Just totally messed with my head. And I read the book. That just.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
still,
that
I
little
still want
ball,
an
the way
everlasting
Gene Wilder-
gobstopper. Mine end.
The way he puts
There's
that
so much
poem out
candy
is
that
just,
you'd
oh,
want.
it's gold.
And after seeing
That's some
Gene
of his best
Wilder and
stuff
Young
there.
Frankenstein, I have a hard time.
It was beautiful.
I loved Young Frankenstein. I
No,
just.
I'm saying
but
that's
it's
why
still
I
him,
love
it's-
Young Frankenstein, but I have a hard time, doing the connects.
Yes.
Young Frankenstein is the best Mel Brooks movie.
No, there's more.
Nope.
Oh, I don't know, because Flaming Saddles is up.
Blazing
Saddles.
I love Blazing
Saddles.
Saddles,
Isn't it-
especially
Oh,
when,
not compared to Young
especially
Frankenstein.
every time they go to say that derogatory name and you hear the bell, ding ding.
Or by
It's a ding. He's coming. It's a ding. It's just beautiful.
Or my personal favorite, Happy Normal Somebody.
Yeah, I love how he holds himself up.
Oh, yeah. Nobody move or he gets it.
Gets it.
Although I do
Ooh.
love
Say that,
Yeah.
poor man.
or Spaceballs. Spaceballs is
Spaceballs
was
good.
the bomb.
movie.
They
never
gone
called me
to
on this
plaid. Ludicrous speed.
He shot my hair.
And my favorite, Spaceballs the doll.
Yeah.
Me. May the Schwartz be with you. Adorable.
And
So-
can't forget Combing the Desert.
Got way off of
Night Before Christmas.
We're gonna watch the advanced
But-
video.
Tim Burton stuff. Then
Isn't that the
The video that comes out before the movie is done.
Isn't that the point of this?
That got into a huge trail pretty quick,
That did.
actually.
Yeah.
All right.
way far away. I was just trying to see
However, my favorite Mel Brooks ever is the TV series Get Smart.
I never saw it.
I saw parts of that, actually.
I
off
saw
and
the
on.
movie. Does that count?
Where the Rock
Yeah,
kisses Steve Carell.
still okay, but not the same.
I missed that one. That was a
No,
good one.
Brooks didn't write the movie.
No. That's okay. So,
So Daniel,
It's all right.
yes.
I believe we're up to you and your favorite fandom.
Not
Transformers.
And
no.
can we put
That's
a
what I'm saying,
no,
we
bro?
already know these things. We
So
got two
is
different
Transformers
things.
Exactly.
being thrown
I got
out
away
the
from
bubble
Ghostbusters,
too?
man.
Is it going in the bubble?
I'm just saying, we
Out the
know you
bubble?
love Transformers.
We've had this discussion.
know his
Now
thing is
it's
So
time
we're
to
okay.
branch
So we're
out.
throwing out Transformers
Yep.
and Star Wars.
And Star Wars and Ghostbusters.
It's not easy for me to throw out my proton pack, but I did it for my turtle shell. I'm sorry. Does that mean something else? I didn't think it was that funny.
At least your clothes are still
So am I
on.
allowed to do Green Lantern or Superman or Justice
They don't
League?
know that.
Do Green Lantern.
true.
I feel like I hear you talking about that as much as Superman.
All right, fine.
Why are you laughing so much?
I'll go with Green Lantern then. I can do that.
I love
Okay.
Green Lantern.
I wanna hear
Lantern's
Green
awesome,
Lantern
especially the animated cartoon series they
Ooh,
recently
so
did.
good.
Introduced the Red Lanterns, the Blue Lanterns,
Wait, they
the
had just
orange.
Green Lantern series by itself?
How did you not
Yeah.
know that?
That's weird. I
Yeah.
didn't
It
know.
came
I
out the
didn't
same
know that
time as
either.
Young Justice.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird. I gotta look it up then.
Let's go watch it together.
It was pretty
I
awesome.
was like, I've only seen
Yeah,
Justice
so it
League.
does
very
focus on Hal Jordan, but I think they did a really fantastic job with it. You got Kilowog. They were on the spaceship that suddenly became sentient, and
Yeah.
they had to deal with Red Lanterns and Blue Lanterns, stuff like that. They did a fantastic job with it. The Guardians were they're always annoying, but they did a great job. Unfortunately, it was only like 2 seasons though.
Oh no, it was only 1 season.
No, they did come out with a second season.
Are the Guardians the ones that were in Guardians of the
I think
Galaxy?
IMDb.
Those people?
Because
Stanley?
I thought they came out with 1 season, then they split it into 2 halves.
Maybe that's why I think it's 2. But no, they did a fantastic job. They kept to the Hal Jordan story instead of the Ryan Reynolds Hal
I
Jordan
actually
story.
like
won't
Ryan
go there.
Reynolds.
Sexy Ryan Reynolds, Hal Jordan.
No.
story?
Ryan
No.
Reynolds is
For
sexy.
someone who
I'm
doesn't
for
know anything about
this.
Green Lantern, I actually really liked that movie. It got so much hate, and I was like, I don't know.
See, I'm glad
Okay.
somebody agrees with
For
me.
the record,
I own it.
I did bash
I own
Green
it.
Lantern a
It
while
was
ago.
enjoyable. It was an enjoyable movie, but it
Wow,
was a
there's-
horrible
Which
movie.
one?
It really was.
Oh, hold on.
From everyone I heard it from, they also.
They should have gone.
was
They should have
horrible.
gone with
believe that's a
Sinestro
guilty
as the
pleasure.
villain. Parallax
didn't they?
as the villain, huh?
Why didn't they go with
I don't
Sinestro?
know. They showed him at the very end get the yellow ring.
Which year Green
Well,
Lantern
no.
are you talking
Because
about?
they were going to go for the sequel. That was their sequel.
I
and
understand
then
that, but
they
or even just stuck with Hector Hammond as the villain instead of bringing in Parallax. It was such a
Why did
dumb
they start
idea.
with Parallax
I
from the
know.
beginning? I don't
I mean,
understand it.
Parallax, we didn't discover him for
That one's still on. Are you
Decades.
sure
No,
that's
it's not.
It says it is.
That's because they're dum-dums.
so.
My kid
Overall,
watches this one.
I would have to say that I'm excited. I mean, we saw Green Lantern show up in the Wonder
little
Woman
intro thing.
little intro
So
thing.
hopefully it'll be there.
It sounds like
so
they're doing
weird.
the Green Lantern corpse though,
Yeah,
instead,
that's- I'm
which
looking at that.
allows them to do Hal, to do Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner, and John Stewart, Jessica Cruz, and Baz.
Now, do
Simon
you think
Baz
they're
if
going to
they
go
want.
the way of Infinity War and maybe have it where it's, like
one
all...
season, but it goes from 2011 to 2013.
Yeah, because they
That's
spread it out.
They spread it out, yeah.
I think they're just gonna throw them in there.
You think they're
I
just
hope-
going to throw him in
That's
there?
what I kind of. I'm sad.
I
that
don't
he's not
think-
in this Justice League movie.
I agree.
Well, they're going
Green
with the New
Lantern is one of the
52
founding
lineup.
members, but at the same
Oh, yeah.
time,
I didn't even know that.
he's a really hard character to throw in. He really is.
Especially since he's not super... I'd say he's not super well known still.
Well, especially the way they're building this Earth, which
Oh,
I suspect is
that's a
Earth
ways
2. He'll show up later. I really
release
think
date.
he will show up later because he's not really in the
Green
affairs
Lantern Corps?
because he's. This is my theory. He's on OA training right now. That's why he hasn't shown up.
It's
I just
2020.
wish they would actually release the individual movies before just jumping into the big. We're all getting together as a
The
team.
reason they're doing it is because they don't want to play the Marvel. They don't want to be.
Well, also the whole genre is getting played out.
Yeah.
Marvel picked the best way to do it already.
They did, and
can't
so they
copy
don't want to mimic that and say. So everyone says, "Hey, look, you're just copying Marvel." They're going to say, "Okay, we got these 2 movies. We're jumping in with Justice League, and then we'll go." So it makes
They're
sense.
already pulling the dark out. They're gonna go lighter, more comedic movies now
Well, yeah,
because Wonder
because
Woman worked.
Jeff Johns is behind it. Zack Snyder isn't
Jeff
anymore.
Jones, brilliant.
He is, and so they're lightening
he wrote
up.
my favorite Smallville episode.
No, that's fine. It's just when you said that, you like went cross-eyed.
You're right.
He's
Yeah.
so brilliant.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Oh,
So
it was just-
no, I
don't
love
know.
what he did with the Green
Pick up on
Lantern.
that a
I mean,
little bit.
he actually resurrected
Because you wrote a
Green
crossword
Lantern.
bid, I can mess with you.
He's the whole reason the Green Lantern is back is because he came back and brought Hal Jordan from the death and did Rebirth and the Blackest Night and
Ooh,
everything.
Rebirth is so good.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Um,
so that is my thing.
And then with the Green Lantern Corps, like I just on IMDb, I just got it, but that is official. That's happening. 2020, we'll see.
Yeah, January 2020. So you got a little bit to wait.
Like I would love to see if they go the realm of Guardians of the Galaxy, where you get to see all the different aliens.
I think they are. I think they're gonna go the space cop feel, like
which
Guardian.
is kind of what it is.
Because we kind of have Wonder Woman like Captain America, where they went back in the past. I think they're gonna try to mimic what Marvel did with Guardians, but with Green Lantern. It makes sense to do it that way. It really does,
and it will fit Green Lantern as a character.
Yeah,
but I'm afraid that we're just gonna see Green Lanterns just jump up, just show up in this new movie. Like it'll be one of the surprises.
He's not in this. He's not in Justice League. One or two.
Okay.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Okay. Months,
maybe in the end. And the end of 2. That would make sense because Darkseid's attacking the planet for the corpse to show up.
I am so confused what they're doing with Justice League now.
Well,
it's definitely Darkseid. All of
it is Darkseid.
I know that. It's
so
they were supposed to have part 1 and part 2.
They are.
Part 1 is like.
Part 1 is Steppenwolf and Dark Superman.
Okay,
and going to Dark Superman, and then I'm pretty sure they get Superman back. Darkseid shows up at the end of part 1. Now we have to go to part 2.
But isn't part 2 like 3 years from now or something ridiculous?
I don't know.
But we're seeing the Parademons already. They wouldn't
the Parademons would show up with Steppenwolf.
That's true, they would.
Because that is Darkseid's army, and Steppenwolf is his general.
Well, that's also where Cyborg comes from.
Yeah, and we did see
at least one iteration.
And in the ultimate,
well, and aren't they going like towards the new 52? Because that's the lineup of Justice League.
I don't actually know how Cyborg's created in this one. I just know how he was created.
He from the Mother Box. So you did see.
Do we see that in this,
Batman
in the trailer?
vs Superman?
Do we see the Cyborg being created from the box?
In Batman vs Superman, yes.
I'm gonna have to. I've only seen that movie.
I've got to rewatch it.
Okay, so if you watch the ultimate,
I want to watch the ultimate cut.
I have the ultimate cut. Come over and watch it.
For what?
You actually see Steppenwolf. That Lex Luthor is talking to Steppenwolf.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I heard about that.
That's what drives me nuts. I hear all these good things about the ultimate cut. I'm like, why did they cut those?
I know.
Out?
It's so at the very end when the guys come in with the guns,
right?
And Lex Luthor's talking to himself, they actually cut away and you see Steppenwolf on a display screen, and then he disappears. That's who Lex Luthor was talking to.
That's important.
He wasn't just crazy talking to no one. He was talking to Steppenwolf.
I'm sorry.
Because he was opening the bridge to help bring Darkseid here.
I will never get behind that kid as Lex Luthor.
Oh, no.
But isn't it supposed to be Lex Luthor's
That's the
son
worst
anyway?
casting ever.
I don't know.
Too,
I hope it is Lex Luthor Jr., then it would make sense.
It would make sense, but it's just, why wouldn't they come out and say it? Because there's such a disconnect.
We've gone way too over. This has gone super long. So we'll wrap this up, and we'll talk to you next time.
It's morphin' time.
Green Lantern is in there.
Just because the world is without fuel doesn't mean it can't burn. Union Forest has unleashed a dragon upon the world, and it's hungry. Henry Morgan has to save his brother and face the dragon. Check out The Shadows Above the Flames, written by our very own Daniel Swanton and published by Immortal Works. You can find your copies on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, or anywhere books are sold. So go get your copy today and find out what happens to Henry and Rick.